Shall we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. We're better because we've got a donkey and a couple of monkeys that want to come in later on. He is the busiest funny man on the planet right now. Will you please welcome the fabulously talented James Corden? Are we human, or are we dancer? And I'm on my knees looking for the answer. Are we human, or are we dancer? Well, love it. Great to see you. You look fabulous. I'm loving the jacket, the outfit there.
Thanks very much. It's a Wimbledon umpire's coat.
Where are you a tennis fan?
No, but I was a standby umpire for about... No, true, yeah. Of course I wasn't. A standby umpire! You're the second person to fall for that. Your producer said, oh, I said, yeah. I said, well, I was an umpire for 4.5 years. And I could see her going, we haven't got that, we should have that as a question. But no,
well, you've got to forgive me. I think I picked up a bit of the bird flu or something this evening, so I'm a little bit hot and dazed. Now, exciting news. Mr. Corden, with his what do you call it, performer, I guess?
Sidekick, straight man.
Sidekick. Matthew Horn.
Yeah.
They have a sketch show starting here on the BBC. It starts next Tuesday night. It's called The Horn and Corden Show, is that right?
It's just called Horn and Corden.
Horn and Corden?
Yeah.
OK, I saw it, I watched it with my kids the other night. We all loved it. I really particularly enjoyed it. And, you know, I think it's one of the hardest things to get right, is the sketch show.
Well, it is, because by their very nature, you know, they're hit and miss. You know, there's stuff you're going to like, and even my favourite sketch shows like Big Train and the Fast Show, there's stuff that I like and stuff that I don't really like, and I just hope that we've got that ratio right.
And how do you decide that? Do you do sketches and then work out from the audience reaction? Do you guys just say, and if you did something which you were particularly in love with, but it didn't go down that well, would you still put it in and hope for the best?
Yeah, well, the good thing is that we, you know, just because it's our show, it doesn't mean we make it completely on our own. And the show was directed by Kathy Burke, who's terrific, and we had a brilliant producer called Ben Cavey, and so between the four of us, really, I think we'd work it out. And so if I was absolutely adamant that something should be in and they weren't, then it wouldn't be in, you know, and you just have to do it like that.
Okay, and you perform it in front of an audience, the sketches as well, obviously the stuff on film, you play them in, but...
Yeah, so we open every show as ourselves, I guess, on like a modern twist on quite a traditional format, and we, in a kind of hello, welcome to the show sort of shtick, I guess, and then we have sketches that have played in, that we've done on location, and then we perform some in front of the audience and you can see them and stuff, and yeah, and you know, we just wanted it to be quick and really fun.
Well, it is, you know, I really laughed a lot. My kids loved it as well. It's quite adult in a way. I don't know what time it goes out, but there's quite a lot of flesh on display as well.
There is in episode 1. There is quite a lot of flesh on display, mostly in episode 1.
It's almost all your flesh.
Yeah, well, we listened to what the public wanted and we gave it to them.
Focus groups, that kind of thing?
Yeah, and they all came. No, you know, it was only the other week when we watched like the full cut of episode 1 and went, God, I really am quite naked in a lot of it. But that really isn't the case. Don't let it put you off for the rest of the show. It's about 4 sketches.
Well, you know what? You're a fine figure of a young man. There's no two ways about that. And it's refreshing to see someone who offers an alternative to the normal good-looking physique for... You know, the V shape. It's nice to have a different...
Yeah, that's a V shape.
Well, you know, I feel like you deserve nothing less than that. Let's have a look at a clip. Horn and Corden. Very funny. And what a great reaction. Has to be found on BBC 3, ladies and gentlemen, starting next Tuesday night, and I guess you can see it on iPlayer as well. People can catch up on
and I think it's repeated on a Sunday at like 9:30, something like that.
I'll be amazed if it isn't a hit.
Really?
I think it's genuine. It's really good. I'll be amazed if it isn't a hit.
Oh, well, that would be great.
I have been surprised in the past, though. I'm warning you that now. Doesn't necessarily mean anything.
It's not a stamp of... It's not absolutely done.
No, it's not guaranteed.
But Jonathan said
but that doesn't mean the end of Gavin and Stacey, though. You've mentioned Gavin and Stacey because you will do more, I hope.
We've been writing it today. Ruth and I have been writing it today, and we start shooting in the summer, and I guess it'll be out at the end of the year, yeah.
And so you're shooting the summer. How many in this next series?
It'll be 6 episodes, 6 half hours.
You enjoy doing that? You still like the process?
Yeah, it's getting hard. I must be completely honest, it's getting harder every time.
Because what? Because the stories, you have to create the storylines now.
It's not even that, it's just time, really. Time to actually write. I mean, back when we wrote Series 1, it's fair to say that Ruth and I had quite a lot of time on our hands. And, you know, we had all the time in the world to write. And then Series 2, a little less. And then the Christmas special, we kind of just went, right, we'll write it in this 3-week period. And now there's so many other things. Ruth's been filming Jimmy McGovern's series The Street, and then the sketch are coming out in the film and things like that. So it feels that's the biggest pull on it really, is not having the time to actually let things, sort of, ideas and stuff grow and see where they can go.
Now the character that you play in that, of course, you've performed a little thing for Comic Relief.
Yeah.
In characters. Is it Smithy?
That's right.
Smithy or Smithy?
Well, yeah, Smithy if you're a mate, but on paper, Smithy.
Smithy.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is you with the England squad, or most of them.
Yeah.
You can see the whole thing next Friday here on BBC One. This is James Corden as Smithy on Comic Relief next week. Look at it. That looks marvellous. That looks great. Doesn't that look great? I don't want to ask you what you said to Mr. Beckham. Okay, but that's the actual Beckham there.
Yeah, you know, it was a completely optional thing. The FA were great, but we had 20 minutes before they flew to Spain, and it was an optional thing. And luckily, I sort of, I kind of know Rio Ferdinand a little bit, so he was really instrumental in getting the players to come, and so we didn't know who was going to come in until they walked in the door. So we had to write possible things for each of them, and then one by one they came in, and then right at the end it's like Beckham comes in, and he
knows what he's doing. It's like Mad Max walking into the Thunderdome.
It's amazing. He's like truly. You've met him, right?
No, I've never met him.
No, I tell you, it's unnerving. I didn't know whether to shake his hand or just kiss his face.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally the most beautiful man I've ever seen. He's amazing.
But you know what? I'm not just saying this, but I think you look a bit like him. You lose a fit. Well, look at this picture. Look at this picture of David here. Right? Now that's actually.
Now put the picture of me up.
I know you're joking there, but look at the two. There's a similarity. It's just a few extra pounds, that's all. He is. Have you got? Do you? That's impressive. That is impressive.
It's mostly balls.
I think I know where that owl. I think I know where that owl is nesting. It looks like the little owl's head, doesn't it? Now, James has a movie out. When's it coming out? What's the date?
It's out on March the 20th.
March the 20th. It's out in a couple of weeks' time, and it's called Lesbian Vampire Killers.
That's right.
Okay. So people can already work out it's a gritty, sophisticated drama.
Ken Loach meets Mike Lee film.
Social realism.
Yeah.
You know what? I normally know I'm going to like a movie if it's got any one of those three words in the title. Okay, to put all three in, your quid's in already. Tell us about the premise of this movie. Tell us about how it came about and what it was like to make.
Well, Matt and I play. We didn't write it. It was
you didn't? I thought it was
No. It was written by two brilliant writers and directed by a guy called Phil Claydon. And I play a character called Fletch, and Matt plays a character called Jimmy. And he's broken up with his girlfriend, and my character's lost my job. And he decides they want to go on holiday. They haven't got any money, so they go hiking, and they end up in a village which is cursed. That when women turn 18, they become lesbian vampires. And Matt and I, it turns out, have been sent there to kill them. And that's it.
When this script landed on your desk and you realised you would have to spend several months shooting with largely naked young women kissing in front of you, okay, it must have been quite a while before you said yes.
Well, no, does it do it for you? Does it? The lesbian thing? It doesn't, it's not a big, it doesn't really do it for me. I'm annoyed that they don't want me to be involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really get, does it do it for you? Am I putting you in a bad place? Is this a bad thing to talk about? Should we not? Is it wrong? You do. Clearly you do. You're obviously aroused. You're clearly aroused. Mostly, the film is really not gratuitous in any way.
Not at all.
No, it genuinely isn't.
The lesbian vampire killers cannot be accused of any kind of exploitation.
No, it genuinely isn't. It's like, it's 90 minutes of just kind of pure campery,
you know
really.
What?
It's fun.
It made me laugh a lot. It's very funny. It's silly, but it knows it's silly.
Yeah.
And, it's a kind of like a great Friday night out.
Yeah.
This is, have a look at this. It opens March the 20th all over the UK. Lesbian Vampire Killers. Good luck with it. You know what, before we go, we should just mention something here. I know James was keen to mention it. You can imagine he's about just one of the busiest guys working in comedy today, but you're hosting a big charity event in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
This is the Teenage Cancer...
The Teenage Cancer Trust. They do a week of gigs, so like the Stereophonics are doing a night, Kasabian are doing a night, I think, and then we're doing a comedy night, and Matt and I are kind of hosting it, and we'll be doing some characters from the show and things like that. And it's for the Teenage Cancer Trust on the 29th of March at the Albert Hall. And I think it'll be a really good night. It's kind of the first time we'll have ever done our show live, so it'll be quite exciting.
But it'll be what a great lineup. And of course, you can see James not only in the big sketch on the Comic Relief Night, but you can be live in the studio as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be doing the last push from like 1:30 till 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Corden.
Thank you very much.
Great work.
Thank you.
I was that's it.
Really?
Yeah, it was fantastic. James Corden, ladies and gentlemen. Marvellous.